Resolution 221 by Representative Nafee and others, a resolution honoring the lifetime and memory of the Honorable Ned McWherter of Tennessee.
Madam Speaker, I would like for the clerk to read the resolution. Thank you.
Mr. Clerk.
A resolution to honor the lifetime and memory of the Honorable Ned McWherter of Tennessee. Whereas the members of this General Assembly were greatly saddened to learn of the passing of our friend and former colleague, Ned McWherter, who so ably served as Speaker of the House of Representatives from 1973 to 1987, and as the 46th Governor of the state of Tennessee from 1987 until 1995. Whereas drawn to public service with a deep desire to bring opportunity and hope to those who had neither, Ned McWherter humbly offered himself as a candidate for election of the Tennessee House of Representatives in November 1968 and won election to the first of his 9 terms as a member of the General Assembly. Whereas a member of the 86th through 94th General Assemblies from 1969 to 1987, Mr. McWherter first served as the 35th Flatorial District of Lake, Obion, and Weakley counties, and later the 76th House District, comprised of Weakley and Henry counties. Whereas quickly earning the respect of his peers, Mr. McWherter was elected chair of the Democrat caucus and served as chair of the Calendar and Rules Committee as a member of the Finance, Ways and Means Committee and the General Welfare Committee. And whereas the son of a sharecropper who rose to become governor of the state of Tennessee, Ned Ray McWherter was born on October 15, 1930 in Palmersville, Tennessee, to Lucille Golden Smith and Harmon Ray McWherter. And whereas growing up during the Great Depression, young Ned attended a one-room school with a wood-burning stove and bussed tables for his family restaurant before beginning his working career as a traveling shoe salesman from the trunk of his car. And whereas an industrious young man with a keen mind for business, Ned McWherter started a trucking company which proved to be highly successful and allowed him to expand his business endeavors into an Anheuser-Busch beer distributorship for Northwest Tennessee, all of which led to his financial success. And whereas a proud American who sought to do his duty, Ned McWherter served with distinction as a member of the Tennessee National Guard for 21 years, from 1948 to 1969, and retired with the rank of captain. And whereas Mr. McWherter's first endeavor in politics was as a driver and informal aide to Congressman Robert Fats Everett, hearing firsthand the opinions of his fellow citizens as they expressed their views on the issues important to their families and their communities. And whereas seeking to make the legislature an equal partner with the governor in the development of laws and policies to improve the quality of life for all Tennesseans, Ned McWherter was elected Speaker of the House of Representatives in 1973 and would go on to serve in that capacity for a then record 7 terms. Whereas laying the foundation for a generation of progress in Tennessee, Speaker Ned McWherter used his position to redefine the role and process of Tennessee's legislative branch of government and won acclaim for his wisdom and keen insight that resolved tough issues, not in the best interest of a few, but in the best interest of all Tennesseans. And whereas a pioneer of open government, physical accountability, and equality, Mr. McWherter authored Tennessee's campaign financial disclosure law, helped pass the original Sunshine Law to open all government meetings and records, established new fiscal policies on state bonds and pension fund oversight, and appointed the first African-American committee chairman in the South. And whereas never afraid to take action on an issue regardless of party politics, Speaker McWherter led the effort to build a medical school in Johnson City at East Tennessee State University over the objections of Republican Governor Winfield Dunn, and later joined the Senate Speaker John Wilder to remove Democrat Governor Ray Blanton 3 days before the end of his term amid a scandal over prison pardons, and install Republican Governor Lamar Alexander. Whereas Speaker McWherter rendered sterling service to the State Building Commission, the Joint Fiscal Review Committee, the Council on Pensions and Retirement, the Tennessee Agricultural and Industrial Development Commission, and the State Agribusiness Board. Whereas the past chairman of the Southern States Speakers Conference, Ned McWherter was a member of the Board of Governors of the Council of State Governments and the Executive Committee of the Southern Legislative Conference during his tenure as Speaker of the Tennessee House of Representatives. Whereas in 1986, Ned McWherter of Weakley County was elected to the office of Governor of the state of Tennessee with the simplest message that Tennessee's economic future depended on every community having access to good schools, good roads, and affordable health care. And whereas after his trademark four vanilla wafers and a cup of coffee, Governor Ned McWherter went to work for the people of Tennessee and regained control of the state prison system that had been taken over by the federal court, and passed legislation to create new standards for the state's nursing homes, civil penalties for serious violations, and whereas addressing a rampant double-digit unemployment that nearly half of Tennessee's counties were suffering, Governor McWherter proposed a 95-county jobs plan that was a reflection of his belief that Tennessee's economic growth needed to be distributed beyond the state's metropolitan centers. And whereas over his 2 terms, that plan shaped most of his administration's major policy initiatives, including education, roads, health care, and waste management, in an effort to attract jobs and reduce chronic unemployment by increasing road construction in rural areas and link rural communities to the interstate system. Whereas through his leadership in his 2nd term, Governor McWherter saw Tennessee enact and fund one of the nation's most comprehensive programs of education reform, including greater flexibility for local communities, higher standards for students, tougher accountability for the public, and a new funding formula that for the first time provided every Tennessee school with the resources needed for a quality education. And whereas he concluded his tenure as governor by leaving his successor the strongest economy in the state's history, with Tennessee's economic growth ranked among the nation's highest, as City and State magazine twice named Tennessee as the best managed state government, and with Governor McWherter being recognized as the nation's most outstanding governor by the Governing magazine in 1994. And whereas retiring from public service in 1995, Governor McWherter served as a close advisor to then-President Bill Clinton, much like he had to President Jimmy Carter in the 1970s, and was often called upon for his guidance and input as a much-admired patriarch and pillar of the Democrat Party by candidates for office across the nation. And whereas lending his time and talent to numerous civic and charitable organizations during his lifetime, Governor Ned McWherter aided the Weakley County Head Start program, the Northwest Tennessee Economic Development District, Tennessee Heart Association, Weakley County Chamber of Commerce, Tennessee, Arkansas, Mississippi Girl Scout Council, and the Tennessee Easter Seal Program, Western Region, to name but a few. And whereas Governor McWherter was a charter member of the Dresden Lions Club and the Dresden JCs, and was also a respected member of the Free and Accepted Masons 32nd degree, Scottish Rite, the Order of the Mystic Shrine, Benevolent and Protective Order of the Elks, and the Fraternal Order of Eagles. And whereas Governor McWherter is survived by his son and daughter, Michael Ray McWherter, Mary Jane Wooten McWherter, two grandchildren, Walker Ray McWherter, Mary Bess McWherter, and a stepdaughter, Linda Ramsey, 2 step-grandchildren, Matthew Ramsey and Brett Ramsey, and a step-great-granddaughter, Elena Ramsey, along with a vast multitude of dear friends, former colleagues, and admirers across the state of Tennessee. Whereas Ned McWherter leaves behind an indelible legacy of integrity and probity in public life, compassion and loyalty in private life, and diligence and dedication in all his chosen endeavors. And whereas a true man of the people, Governor McWherter was a thoughtful and conscientious gentleman who loved Tennessee and took great pride in making his state a better place for all. His unmatched record in public service stands as a monument to a life well lived. And where it is fitting that the members of this General Assembly should pause to remember the extraordinary life of the sharecropper's son from Weakley County, Governor Ned Ray McWherter of Tennessee. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the House of Representatives of the 107th General Assembly of the State of Tennessee, the Senate concurring, that we honor the memory of the Honorable Ned Ray McWherter, 46th Governor of the State of Tennessee, and pay tribute to his lifetime of service to the good people of Tennessee.
Thank you.
You've heard the caption. Are there any objections? Without objection, those rules are suspended. Speaker Nafee.